abrasive music. It's not the kind of music that your mum would like.
I think certain people dislike it because they might find the music loud and fast and annoying and repetitive.
I mean, ultimately hardcore is like a grassroots, like DIY music genre.
Anyone that wants to be involved in it can,
be involved in it.
First gabber I ever heard was like when I was a young punk and I wanted to download some Skinhead music. DJ Skinhead Extreme Terror came up and I was like, holy fuck. I just was obsessed.
The faster and harder the music is, the more calm and quiet it sounds. Like there was this time at a party where
I remember standing near the speakers and
I got hit in the face with a smoke machine, so I was just completely blinded.
Letting like the sound kind of punch me in the face.
All I could see was strobes, all I could hear was gabber.
Feeling like my nose vibrate, and something about it must have altered my brain chemistry, because
that is the calmest and quietest I've ever felt in my entire life.
It wasn't until over lockdown when that experience of going out to clubs is taken away from you.
As everyone's sat at home just listening to stuff on SoundCloud.
It makes you listen to things in a different way. With the harder music, it made me actually appreciate the nuance that goes into it.
The stuff that everyone's listening to is just going on all sorts of weird directions.
That's why I really admire artists who kind of make hardcore music using a lot of that older equipment.
As people have been more willing to listen to it, I've been more and more willing to play it.
I also think multiculturalism plays into it as well. Like for a very long time, Manchester's been a very diverse, multicultural city. That's why I love it. You get a real wide, like diverse community of people coming together. A lot of these genres, early sound system culture and stuff, came about initially, like with the Windrush generation.
Scottish gabber punk is, in its most simplest form, queer, anti-fascist, anti-capitalist, anti-patriarchy, anti-colonialist.
All hardcore bands should be abolitionist about the police. Like anti-big hardcore is kind of about like going back to the roots of what hardcore is about. It's anti-authoritarian, it's anti-police, it's sort of intrinsically suspicious of anyone that claims authority over another individual.
We've seen recently an increase in police violence, hiding their badge numbers and things like that. There is clearly a significant issue in the policing in this country. It only goes away if you make noise about it, which we are quite literally doing.
Quite a lot of events get put on in aid of Trans Mutual Aid Manchester, because as a trans woman myself, charity begins at home. That is a genuine grassroots mutual aid organisation. There's no corporate structure to that or anything. It is literally just mutual aid run by a group of trans people.
It's a space for everyone. If you're a straight cis guy, like you're just as welcome at a hardcore show as a trans woman is.
It's not just a welcome space for queer people. It is led by queer people. It is led by POC people.
A lot of the parties that we do are raising money for the trans community.
Being a closeted trans woman as a child or as a teenager may be quite isolated. There's quite a lot of pent up energy. When you come out, it's like, I am gonna be unashamedly, loudly trans, literally.
The club is one of the only places that you can go to as a trans woman and be celebrated for that. Just being surrounded by other queer people, other trans people, it's so liberating to be like partying in a space where you can be truly celebrated for who you are in a way that you aren't really ever in any other part of your life. The state of trans rights in the UK and the access to trans healthcare isn't the best. It's really important to be able to raise money for trans people. We did a party a few weeks ago and I think we made over £1,000 in one night. You do a few of those parties and you just pay for someone's top surgery and it's really special.
Any kind of like Palestine relief, I personally just find really important.
When we did our first ever merch run, we donated all of the proceeds from that to Palestine Action. Fucking obviously we're pro-Palestine.
Yeah.
So like
that should be intrinsically
you're
within
a human.
hardcore.
Like you should be pro-Palestine, right?
Palestine, free, free! Palestine, free, free!
A lot of these landowners, they own all of this land and they're not doing anything with it, and they just feel that because they own it, it should be theirs and theirs alone. That's kind of bullshit. This whole country is for us and we should be able to make the most of the spaces that are here. So to be able to have a party that's accessible to people and that anyone can go to and it doesn't cost anything, purely on a financial one, is something that's very needed.
I think the UK has a real problem with like kind of curtain twitching culture. We've got a lot of NIMBYs basically, and we've got a lot of venues getting shut down because of people who move to a noisy area and then complain about noise, and that's a massive problem because you've got to think how much good this culture does in bringing people in, you know, attracting people to contribute to a community.
And because of that, diversity of the performers and therefore the diversity of the patrons is so extensive and encouraging and beautiful. It just means that then you're just everyone's friend. You know that if you go to one of these events, you are gonna make a friend there.
I think naturally within creative communities, the key is in the word community anyway, like that's why it's super important to actually support those grassroots events.
The community is like one of the things that's coolest about hardcore. It's a bunch of people like really focused on like DIY creativity and, you know, positive mental attitude.
A lot of hardcore events are a safe space, despite the music being so aggressive and so hard. Everyone who's there has that fairly niche interest in common. Everyone is there for the culture that comes with the music, for just having a fun, silly time. So that's how you end up with this kind of mixing of subcultures, hardcore punks and stuff. I think it's that mixing of communities can only be positive.
It's very anti-establishment. I guess that's a big part of why these scenes are so much more welcoming to queer people as well. Everyone that's there, they don't want to fit the mold.
It's not just the music, it's the people in it.
Anything that sort of like takes music and like really pushes it in any direction to its extreme is obviously like committed on some level to that sort of like radicalism, and I guess maybe that's part of what unifies something like hardcore EDM or GABA to like hardcore punk.
Raves are inherently a byproduct of trying to step away from crackdowns by police and things like that, and have a place of expression free of that.
It doesn't matter whether you want rave to be political or not. It simply is.
Hardcore people unite around being subversive and not really giving a shit what other people think about them, and that's something to be protected and nourished.
It's like counter to like neoliberalism because it's all about individuals' shareholder value and increasing it. But then, you know, you can go to gigs and you can have a good time with your friends.
It's free in the sense that it doesn't cost money, and it's free in the sense that there's nobody there to tell you what to do. It's really refreshing to have this just partying for partying's sake, rather than it being anything to do with like clout or money.
Manchester clearly has like a very strong like musical history and also a very strong like leftist politics like history as well, and I think the intersection of those two things is always going to be somewhere adjacent to hardcore music.
My therapist once asked me like, oh, when was the first time you disobeyed your parents? And it's like when I was 30.
Free party is punk as hell. Changing your sex, punk as hell. I'm going to do my own thing and fuck you if you're going to stop me.
We're just doing whatever the fuck we feel like. I am who I am and I'm fucking proud of it actually.
I would be massively encouraging of anyone that wants to come to a hardcore gig. You'll make a new friend, or like you'll have a nice interaction with someone.
So if you don't care what people think about you and you want to dance to fun, silly, hard music and make friends, crucially, then yeah, you should come.
It might be your thing, it might not be your thing. Fucking have fun.